Welcome to another Just Flying episode. We're back in Japan again, and two airfields I've not been to before. The first one being Yamagata RJSC. And I doubt those houses in real life encroach onto the airfield quite that much, so could probably do with an exclusion zone or two, but never mind. Yes, close, but there's nothing actually on the runway or apron, so I can live with that. Yeah, it's okay. Then the destination airfield is Matsushima, RJST. Again, that's going to be a bit of a mystery or discovery of what it's like once we get there, but the main discovery about this trip is going to be this default Explain 12 Baron. I think I read that the landing characteristics had been fixed, so rather than spending 30 seconds testing that by myself as normal people would do, I thought I'd make an entire video about it. I'm sure some of you do know, but very quickly, just in case you don't, when Explain 12 came out, this default Baron was pretty much unlandable. As soon as the main gear touched the ground, the front wheel would just slam down onto the runway and the whole experience was terrible. Apparently it was something to do with Explain wanting to apply a huge and unrealistic amount of force to get the main gear wheels turning when they contacted the runway, so they simply became a pivot point instead, which threw the front of the plane into the floor. So yeah, let's see if that indeed has been fixed now. Why up to now I've still been using the Explain 11 Baron. That mostly worked, and you could land on the main gear and hold the nose wheel up in the air. The only problem with the Explain 11 Baron was texture issue on the back bulkhead wall and another by the pedals. And I pretty much never looked directly behind me or at my feet, so it was rare I'd even notice those issues. So even if this Baron does work as I want to, as I'm hoping it will, I'll probably still use the Explain 11 Baron as well, as I rather like it. Lovely day, and yeah, that will do. Don't need a whole runway, do we? And I'm a bit bored of taxiing now. Let's go for it. We're up. Yeah, it's not feeling too much different to the 11 Baron. Handling similar. Bit quieter maybe, but no worries with that. So far so good. Apart from the weather, we've got a small range of, not sure if they're classed as hills or mountains ahead of us, which we need to cross. And Explain's default map isn't great for detailed terrain, but it seems like there should be a few valleys where I'm keeping my fingers crossed we can stay under the cloud base and remain a VFR flight. If we can't, then such is life, and I can climb and have a bit of instrument flying until we do cross the hills, but if we don't have to, then that would be the preferred option. Get to see some scenery. Although with this rain and visibility, I suppose it won't be too much, but at least we'll get to see some. Oh, and by the way, talking of looking at scenery, in the last Japan video I mentioned the houses and buildings being little flat roof boxes rather than the apex roofed houses that you see in the New Zealand videos I do. I don't think I mentioned in that those box houses are actually Mr. X's Japan Pro, which you can get for free from the org forum. Yeah, so anyway, I had a nice trip over to Spain, and that weather was an improvement. Yes, I left Birmingham at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not sure what the temperature actually was, but while looking out of the window in the departure lounge, I did see them de-icing a couple of aircraft. It's the first time I think I've ever seen that happen live in front of me, so that was quite interesting. Temperature was just below freezing when we came home too, but fortunately it was significantly better than that in España. It's southern Spain, not far from Malaga Airport if you wanted a more exact location. We had a little bit of rain one day, but fortunately a day where we weren't outside playing golf or doing anything else anyway. The rest of the time it was lovely and t-shirt weather really. Or during the day, it is winter, so you did need a jumper or a coat or something when you were out in the evening, but that's not a problem, so that was really nice. 2.5 games of golf, and what I mean by that is one full course, then tried out a little 9-hole par 3 course on another day, and then another full-sized course the day after that. So that was all good fun. Not that I'm a brilliant golfer anyway, but did okay getting to the green, but then my putting was truly abysmal. Fortunately I don't get upset about things like that. Myself and my mate Cole, we do have a competition with each other. It's more fun than anything serious. Although to be truthful, that's probably not totally correct. I do actually get sometimes quite aggressive and annoyed with myself at bad shots, but nobody would ever know. I just do that silently and internally, and it lasts all of 2 seconds. I was thinking I could follow this road, but the road's disappeared, so... bit more valley over there. That should be okay, shouldn't it? Yeah, we're fine. I do remember a commentator once saying that the best golfers have the shortest memories, and it's kind of half right. I do have a very short period to get over any bad shots, but I'm still not a great golfer, so 50% for his statement there. Although I'm happy enough with that. There's always 1 or 2 great shots which I'm really proud of and enjoy having a laugh and a chat while we're going round, and that's a fun day out. If you gave me a magic wand option to become a Tour Pro standard, but I'd turn into an annoying arsehole on the course, I don't think I'd take that. That's not my idea of enjoying the experience. The day out is much more important than the score. Apart from that, there's some very good food, which is a bonus of going to see a couple who actually live in the area. They go out and try places, so whenever I go, they take us to ones they already know are good. So I'm sure we've all done it, where you go on holiday at a place for a few days and then discover the best bar in the world ever on your very last day. Fortunately, with them being locals, they don't have that problem in Spain, as they already know the good ones and the bad spots to either go to or avoid. So, some great food and a few nice places to have a drink too, including a couple of evenings which did involve my favourite cocktail, the Old Fashioned. And if you don't know what an Old Fashioned is, there's a little bit of other stuff in there, but basically think whiskey with some more whiskey and a little added whiskey on top of that. So there were mornings where I was not totally at my best until I'd had a coffee or two, but yeah, I didn't get drunk enough to steal any spoons this time, which is a bonus. Oh yeah, I had fun at Malaga Airport on the way home too. You've got a good view of the apron and the runway from the departure lounge where we were in. And on the flight radar website I managed to find my plane on its inbound leg. So I made a point of watching that one land. It's a bit of a wobbly approach, and the touchdown was very definitely right main gear well before the left one. So not a great example of how to land a 737. So I was wondering, I bet that's the first officer as pilot flying, and therefore the more experienced captain will be flying the plane on our return. And guessing I was probably right, because the touchdown in Birmingham was lovely and in weather that was worse by the look of it. Yeah, the experience does matter, doesn't it? Yeah, but not quite as much fun after coming home, as it was time for the MOT on my car. I think most countries have a version of the same thing by a different name, but it's basically the annual test and inspection of your car to make sure it's safe and legal, and it failed. Oh yeah, okay, things like brake pads, they wear out over time, and I did have to get a new battery once a few years ago, but yeah, they wear out eventually, so I'm okay with that. We'll call those consumable things. So this was the first time something has gone wrong that actually needed a repair, as the front right spring had a crack in it, so that had to be replaced. But yeah, we're talking about a 13-year-old Seat Ibiza, so for that age I'm not going to complain too much. Now, if I've got that far, 13 years and not had a major problem before, yeah, that's okay. Bit of money I had to spend, but you know, at least we're good for another year now. Yeah, also the other guy I was travelling with, my friend Aid, he was feeling a bit rough over in Spain, and I think I've managed to catch whatever he had. Fortunately on the very last day, so it didn't really impact my holiday, but that started with a sore throat and has now kind of turned into a full-on cold with runny nose and generally feeling terrible. So, don't know if my audio makes me sound as though I'm a bit bunged up, but yeah, I am. So I'm wrapped up in lots of warm clothes trying to sweat it out, and I'm sure I'll be fine in a couple of days, but yeah, currently it's 2 degrees above freezing, so being wrapped up in warm clothes, that kind of would be my natural state of affairs right now. Yeah, so that's up to date with what's happened over the last couple of weeks. Although one other thing I have been enjoying is some old movies. Just a random YouTube recommendation I got for a science fiction first men on the moon type of film from the mid-50s. Clicked on that, and now having watched one, the YouTube algorithm has been throwing more at me, and I've been totally getting into 50s and 60s space films. I mean, with what we know now, it's absolutely fascinating to see just how badly wrong they are with some of the ideas and the science and all of that kind of thing. I suppose back then they didn't have a clue about a lot of things, so script writers just made some shit up. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube has plenty more of them, so yeah, I will be continuing to watch a few of those. Yeah, well, for real space, or actually no. I was going to start rambling about one of my heroes who's a hero for slightly weird reasons, but I might leave that until whenever I do another of these Just Flying videos. Yeah, I'll have more time to talk about it then, as we're getting a little bit closer to our destination now. The weather's still rubbish, but yeah, good enough for a test landing, so that will be okay. Yeah, as I said, I don't really know what's here at Matsushima, because it's just a default airfield and no AI traffic either by the look of things on the map. I believe in real life it's a military place, so I wasn't expecting any AI aircraft anyway, as I don't think Traffic Global deals with that kind of thing. But that's not a bad thing today, as we've got a whole runway to ourselves, where by the look of it the wind is just going to be just a few degrees off to one side, only 6 knots, so that shouldn't really make any difference to us at all, should it? Following this bit of river down to the coast, and it should be over on our left. I was going to say it might not be the easiest thing to spot with the water running down the windows. Yeah, doing okay. Yeah, that does look quite airporty over there, doesn't it? Sure, that's the place. Yeah. Yeah, this one we're looking down the length of now. That is the runway I want to land on. Not much wind, but it's blowing in that direction for that being the one to use. Much too high, so let's go and have a fly past and see what the rest of the place looks like, just in case there is some autogen creeping onto the airfield or anything else weird happening, like a big step in the terrain or whatever. But yeah, first look from up here seems fine. Seems like quite a nice place actually. Yeah, it's a good balance of an airfield for me actually, as there's seems to be plenty going on in the surrounding areas with city buildings and lots to look at and all that kind of thing, but not enough of it for it to be affecting my frame rates to any degree where it becomes annoying. Yeah, for a default gateway airfield it doesn't look too bad, does it? Yeah, so let's go and land this thing. See if the nose wheel does still get thrown into the floor or if it holds up in the air the same way as the 11 Baron does. Oops. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you know I use Track IR for head movement, which is a combination of a clip with 3 sensors or reflectors that you can put on a headset or peak of a baseball cap, as I do in my case. Then an infrared thing on the top of the monitor, and that tracks where I'm looking. And usually it's great, but like that little upside down moment we just had, it can get overpowered by other strong light sources such as the sun, and sometimes gets a little confused by reflections off my coffee cup while I just take a sip, which that one was. Right, okay then. Yeah, I know I'm very low, but purposely trying a shallow approach to gently place the main gear on the runway, and then we can see what happens to the front. I suppose a bit of a weird experiment really, as I'm sure some of you have already tried this, so you know exactly what's going to happen. First time for me though. Doesn't need to be a butter smooth one, but let's try not to land too hard. Yeah, that seemed to work. Yeah, happy enough with that. Try a circuit and make sure with the second attempt. Yes, well, you shot up with your stall, Warner. I'm not going to let you fall out of the sky, so stop being such an oversensitive little aeroplane. Yes, I'm a good pilot. I do bush flying and all sorts. Just look at my last video, and actually no, don't look at my last video. Just trust me. Yeah, you'll be fine. In big areas of concrete and asphalt, they are rather different to Southfield and bush strips. So we can fly in a slightly more controlled and safe manner. Not that I always do, but I can. Yeah. Back to the river, turn around. Okay, we're going to overshoot the centre line by a lot, aren't we? So problem, plenty of room to get back and rescue that. Same as last time, try for a reasonably gentle landing. See if we can keep the nose wheel up in the air. Yeah, happy with that. I've got a new Baron to use. Yeah, I will keep the X-Plane 11 one in service for a while as well, and certainly use it in the challenging landing videos, as having now made a full flight and a couple of touchdowns in this one, it does handle slightly differently. No great surprise there, as this is the stock default Baron, where my X-Plane 11 one is something of a Frankenstein kind of thing. And I think it's an amalgamation of about 3 or 4 different mods that people had made to the X-Plane 11 default Baron. So yeah, it's not exactly the same, but certainly close enough. Yeah, and I've enjoyed taking this out for a flight, so I'm sure I'll be doing it again. And I'll have to get my paintbrush out too, because I did look at this in the very early days of X-Plane 12, and I seem to remember that the texture sheet is totally different between the Baron in 11 and 12, so you can't copy liveries between them. No worries, I'm sure I can make a more DASA style looking repaint for this one. Yeah, way too clean and nice for my liking at the moment. Yeah, can't be having that. We'll have to do something with it. Yeah, and let's do one final little experiment while we've got an open hangar there. I'm sure I've never done this in 12, and If I ever did it in 11, I can't remember, so I've got no idea. Does it rain indoors? Yeah, so let's go and park inside this big hangar here. And does the roof of that building stop the rain? I'm guessing the way this is coded on surfaces and everything probably won't, but yeah, we'll see. You never know. No, by the look of it. But never mind, I rarely park indoors anyway, so yeah, that's not going to matter. Yeah, so that was quite a productive trip, really. Got to see 2 new airfields I'd not been to, and successful test of the X-Plane 12 Baron with its nose wheel characteristics. Yeah, very happy with all that. That will do nicely. And actually, seriously, could that be better timing for X-Plane to crash? Yeah, it's just totally jammed up now. Yeah, done the flight, done the test, replays, everything, perfect. And now just on that final little moment, now it crashes. Yeah, you're not getting any better than that, are you? Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.